So weird talking to a camera with no one around. G'day, my name's Ryan. I ride bikes and make videos. You might know me from Instagram or maybe even racing. And today I'm here to talk about my new 2020 Enduro rig, which is very exciting. I love this bike, and yeah, it's awesome to be able to talk about it. I've got some very generous people that have made this bike happen, so I'm extremely excited to talk through how it all came about, and I'm excited to talk about why I made the decisions that I made to make this bike as good as possible. We got camera there, we've got a camera there, and yeah, let's get into it. First of all, the frame. The frame is a 2020 aluminium Kona Process 153 Deluxe. So that's a lot of words, but it's basically Kona's main aluminium frame. The reason why I ride aluminium frames is because I have a history of breaking carbon frames, which is kind of sad. I kind of like aluminium's ethics. I find that sometimes when I see the way that carbon is produced, the waste output and all of the different negative connotations it has, it just seems like it's not really worth it for me at this point, and I feel like the aluminium works perfectly fine, so I'm very happy on that. The paint job, I don't actually know what Kona calls it, but it's like a midnight purple. It might not actually look purple on that camera, but yeah, it looks purple in some light, and it looks like brown in other lights. It looks black in other lights. It's really, really fancy. I absolutely love it. It's got so much traction. We always used to call it the traction machine because in corners, it just sticks to the ground. It's ridiculous. Check, we're audio working. Yeah, boy. Okay. Next point I'll be talking about, the wheels. So 2020 has been a year of change for sure. I've moved from 27.5 to 29. Which is something I've always been kind of resisting, but now, especially now more than ever, there's a lot of very new technology coming through, and with bike geometries the way they are, 29 it just seems to be the way to go. I've had a couple rides on this bike, and it's absolutely blown my mind, because I've found that with the right tire and wheel combination, I'm getting even more traction because I got more tires on the ground. Yeah, I've basically got used to it instantly, which is absolutely awesome. So I was expecting that to take a bit longer, but second ride just clicked and I'm super happy with it. The wheels I'm running at the moment, I'm running Spank 350 Vibracore rims. Vibracore is basically a foam that's inside the rim to reduce vibrations, and I noticed that the Vibracore really kind of dampens those little vibrations, and it's just a subtle thing that makes it just that little bit better. Big thanks to Link Sports for making that happen. Loving the Spank rims, working nicely. Tires. This year I'm running 29-inch Onza Aquilas front and back. They're a very soft compound. I find that they have a lot of traction in corners. The side knobs really hold on well. I used to run Maxxis tires, and I found that they used to fade away super fast. They'd start, like the knobs would start falling off the edges of my tires. And no, I'm super happy to be running Onzas because they're quite affordable and they last so much longer, and I reckon they're just as good, if not better, than other brands out there. Next, moving on to the cockpit. Up front, I'm running a full Spank cockpit. I'm running the Spank Spike handlebars, 750mm width, which to most people is very, very narrow, but it's just kind of what I've grown up on. I've grown up on a bar that's not absolutely insanely wide. I see people running 800mm bars, and I've tried it before. It just feels a little bit odd. Where I ride around Coffs, there's a lot of tight squeezes that I don't want to be caught up in with some wide bars. So yeah, that's super happy, and they've got Vibracore in them, so they reduce those little bumps, save my forearm, save my fingers. Then we move to the stem, Spank again, and in the middle of the stem, I'm actually running Granite Design tools this year. So I'm running a stem insert, which has a multi-tool, and in either side of the bar, I'm running a Granite Design tire plug stash, which sorts out your tire plug needs, and in the other side, I'm running a chain tool. So it's super good to be able to have an integrated cockpit system. I'm a bit of a shocker for forgetting to bring stuff. The brakes I'm running are Magura MT7 Pros. I've got some customized rings. The dots perfectly match my frame, which I'm super stoked on. Magura brakes are the best I've ever tried. I used to run SRAM guides, which were, oh no. So now I've made the switch to Magura MT7 Pros, and the power they have is just absolutely insane. Just the modulation and the feeling in the finger just feels beautiful. I'm running the new MDRP rotors, the 203 mils front and back, and you'll notice they've got those super cool looking dovetail joints in them. That's for reducing heat. and I actually have found a difference. My local track, Karamba, it's about 4 minutes long. It's not ridiculously steep, but you're on the brakes a lot, and I found that yeah, it manages the heat a lot better, and my braking performance doesn't fade. 203 mils front and back. I've got, you know, so much stopping power. It's absolutely insane. It's more than I know what to do with. Next order of business is the drivetrain. Yeah, I'm still on SRAM. I've upgraded the rear cassette to a GX Eagle. I've kept the NX cranks because they do the job fine. Pedals, I'm running Shimano XTs. I mean, honestly, I haven't really tried anything else. I just seem to have clicked with this. I've had them for ages. I actually won those pedals at the Green Valley's block party. Suspension. This is the stock suspension that came on the Process. Up front, I've got a Lyric Select 160mm. And up the rear, I've got a Super Deluxe Select Plus. I'm running four tokens in the front. Started out with no tokens actually, and that was pretty brutal. To have like a good start of my stroke, I had to have my pressure pretty low, and I was having these vicious bottom outs, just absolutely clapping through it up at Karamba. But no, I've got 4 tokens in there, and now it's working beautifully, and I don't bottom out, so I'm super happy with that. I'm running a Spank seat. 175mm dropper, which is definitely a big upgrade. I had a 125mm, which, to be perfectly honest, wasn't enough. Like, I was going to races and racing steep sections where it wouldn't allow for it to drop low enough, so I'd almost have to be getting out the Allen key or just running my seat lower and compromise my climbing. But now with the 175, I've got so much room to move around. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, I think that just about wraps up what I got to say about my bike. Super happy with my bike. It wouldn't be possible without some very generous people. Special thanks goes to my good friends at Vento Cycles. Basically made majority of this bike possible. So without their help, I wouldn't be where I am today. So massive thanks to them and everyone else, all the other brands that I've mentioned on this bike. Yeah, I made a little video with it as soon as I got it. So I'll be putting that up on screen now. See ya. Have a good one.